We are talking personal injury. Always a pleasure to have Brenda joining us on the show. And you know, as you will find over the next couple of segments, there's always plenty of questions and as to what happens when there's an accident, either a vehicle accident or a slip and fall. There's so many things. The one thing we kind of are coming back to before any of that gets started is the decision to actually hire someone in your position. And so I think that's where we want to start in terms of our topic today.
Okay, great. Yeah, one of the most important decisions you make after an accident is whether to hire a lawyer, and if so, who to choose. It's a long relationship. These cases, if I haven't made that clear, these cases are not fast. So you want to choose somebody that you want to spend some time with over several years often.
You are talking about that, and someone, I think the frustration levels is something you probably dealt with a lot because it is such a lengthy process. So someone to have the trust in, I'm sure as well, to understand that while it seems like it's taking forever on your end, that there is work that's being done on the other.
Yeah, trust is a really big part of it because ultimately you're relying on this person to tell you what your case is worth. And most people who aren't lawyers, and most people who aren't even personal injury lawyers, really don't have a sense of what's fair. And so if you're hiring a lawyer, you've really got to feel comfortable relying on their advice, because really that's how you're going to probably make your decision.
Can I ask then to break down the personal injury aspect then? Because when you're looking at different lawyers, you're looking through the yellow pages or online, there are a lot of different specialties. So where do you see the personal injury, that aspect, coming really into play?
Yeah, it's really important that you pick someone who practices full-time in this area of law. Like the person who does your divorce or your real estate deal probably isn't the person that you call to handle your case. They might be the person you call for a recommendation. There's nothing wrong with that. But if they say, oh, I might be able to do that for you, you know, give that some critical thinking, because personal injury is complicated. Ontario actually has the most complicated car accident system in North America because we've got a blended fault, no fault system. So you want to choose someone who does personal injury as the majority of their practice. Doesn't mean they can't do anything else, but you want someone who has a substantial personal injury practice.
And you were talking that because oftentimes there will be a relationship. If you bought a house, if you've done something that you will have a lawyer, or if you know a guy who knows the guy.
Yeah.
In terms of within the lawyers, there's a true understanding of where some lawyers are going to really benefit, and there's a good networking process there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some lawyers have different philosophies just like everybody else, and you know, there are lawyers like me who are full-time personal injury lawyers, and then there are lawyers whose practice might be more varied. They might do litigation, like lawsuits generally. You know, if I was going to have surgery done, I would want the heart surgeon to do my heart surgery, not the general surgeon, generally speaking. So think about that. You know, in Ontario, if you're a lawyer, you're allowed to do anything, right? You're not limited.
Any form
That's
of law.
right. So you're not limited to real estate if you have focused on real estate. You could do the one-off personal injury case. So you want to interview the person you're considering to make sure that this is actually something they know about.
I think because you've been in this business for so long in personal injury that you pretty much know the ballpark of, you know, of the whiplash, of the broken foot, of the missing week for 6 weeks. You actually have you've done so many of these cases that you can really tell people beforehand, this is how long, this is what it's likely going to be worth, and this is what you'll see.
Right, and that is something that really comes with experience. I mean, my favorite story is this guy who called me. He was a lawyer I knew quite well. He called me and said, you know, I turned these people away because I didn't think they'd meet the threshold, and now I'm having angst. Can you talk to them? And it was 1 week before the limitation period.
Okay.
I ended up getting that guy almost $200,000. And this non-personal injury lawyer had turned him away, told him he didn't have a case. Fortunately, he was smart enough to have second thoughts. So you really want someone who knows what they're doing.
That is, and that comes into play, I know, in the last segments that we've got, having that limitation of knowing exactly how much time you have to consider this, because there is, after a 2-year period, different periods. I know with children, it's different to be able to get your case and to be able to file.
Yeah, basic stuff like time limits. You want somebody who's up on that, because you'd hate to miss that.
We have lots of information, of course. You can get your questions in. Oftentimes we'll talk to people about, you know, the process, how long it takes, the back and forth, and slip and falls, the car accidents. So please send us in your questions. We're with Brenda Hollingsworth this morning, personal injury lawyer. Ottawa.morning@ctv.ca is the email. Let us know on Facebook or on Twitter. And of course, we'd like taking your calls live here on the air. 789-789-6559, extension 2803. Oftentimes you get inundated with calls after the segments at the office if you are looking to get a hold of their firm, or you can check out their website. AskBrenda.ca is a great website, lots of interesting tools on there if you want to be able to head over there and check out for some of that information as well.